Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we will be learning about a very interesting subject, geography. So for our topic of the day, I will give you a clue and you will have to guess it. An occupation that binds our entire nation together. Yes, you guessed it right, it's agriculture. Now before starting, please subscribe to my channel if you haven't yet and click on the notification bell icon so you never miss an update from my end. So now without wasting any more time, get started. It has always been the most important occupation for us. Almost 66% of the labor force in the world is related to agriculture. Agriculture has the main contribution to the economy in developing countries. Agriculture is not only related to farming but also forestry, poultry, horticulture, etc. Horticulture is garden farming. Now let's talk about the factors that seriously affect agriculture. First is climate. Different crops require different temperatures and rainfall during their growing period. For example, wheat requires 10 to 15 degrees Celsius temperature, while rice requires 16 to 32 degrees Celsius. Soil. The soil requirement differs from crop to crop. For example, wheat is mostly grown in alluvial soil, whereas cotton needs the water retentive black soil. Now let's talk about topography. Every crop grows on a different terrain. For example, plains are most suitable for wheat and sugarcane, whereas tea and coffee are best grown on well-drained hill slopes. Growing season. Different crops require different lengths of growing season. For example, cotton requires 200 days to grow, whereas oats requires shorter growing season. More such factors are transport, market, capital, labor, government policy, etc. The three main cropping seasons in India are Kharif season, Rabi season and Zaid season. In Kharif season, ground is prepared in May and April. Harvesting is done in the month of October to November. Major crops of this season are rice, jawar, bajra, cotton, etc. Now let's talk about Rabi season. So the ground is prepared by end of October or beginning of November. Harvesting takes place in March-April. Major crops of this season are wheat, barley, tobacco, etc. Now let's talk about Zaid season. It is the summer cropping season in which crops like maize, groundnut, vegetables and fruits are grown along with pulses. Now let's move upon to types of farming. So there are three major types of farming: subsistence farming, commercial farming and organic farming. So I'll give you a bit of idea about the farming. Farming is practiced in various ways across the world depending upon the geographical condition, demand for product in the market, availability of labor and level of technology. So based on these factors, the farming is classified into the three categories mentioned. Now, let's talk about subsistence farming. The aim of subsistence farming is to cultivate crops for consumption by the farmer and his family. Any surplus crops could be exchanged for goods or stored for future use in times of poor harvest. Subsistence farming is characterized by the use of simple techniques, family labor, and a poor standard of living. Now, subsistence farming is classified into two types: primitive and shifting. First, let's talk about primitive farming. Primitive farming is found in some parts of the equatorial and tropical forests where people use simple tools or implements and produce food for their own immediate needs. Now, let's move on to shifting farming. Shifting farming is also known as slash and burn. The history of shifting cultivation is as old as the history of agriculture. In shifting farming, a patch of ground is cleared very often with fire, and the ground is cultivated for a few years until the soil is exhausted. The cultivators keep on shifting from one part to another part where they clear new patches of ground. Let's move on to the next big type, which is commercial farming. In this type of farming, the farmer produces crops for sale, usually for world markets. Commercial farming may be extensive or intensive. It is further classified into four types: extensive farming, intensive farming, plantation farming, and mixed farming. So first, let's talk about extensive commercial farming. Land may be left fallow for a year or two to enable it to regain its fertility. Extensive farming may be somewhat wasteful and the yield per hectare may be less. So I'll talk about the main characteristics of extensive agriculture here. It is highly mechanized. The size of holding is large, ranging from 240 to 16,000 hectares. It employs little labor. The per hectare yield is low. It is practiced in the sparsely populated areas. Now let's move on to the intensive commercial farming. Intensive commercial farming is practiced where farmland is of high value. So the main characteristics of intensive farming are small size of holding, scattered fields, use of draught animals, use of domestic labor, dominance of cereal crops. Now let's move on to another type, which is plantation farming. Plantation farming means planted trees or bushes which give yields over a period of years. It was developed in the early days of colonization when the industrial nations of Western Europe wanted tropical and subtropical products for their manufactures. The British initiated tea gardens in India and Sri Lanka and rubber estates in Malaysia. Plantations vary from area to area and with different crops, but their general characteristics are similar. A plantation is nothing but a large unit producing a single crop on a scale that resembles factory production. Now let's move on to the last subtopic, which is mixed farming. Mixed farming is the combining of two independent agricultural enterprises on the same farm. A typical case of mixed farming is the combination of crop enterprise with dairy farming, that is crop cultivation with livestock farming. So now let's talk about the last main topic, which is organic farming. Organic farming is a method of farming which primarily aims at cultivating the land and raising crops in such a way as to keep the soil alive by using organic waste, which can be any crop, animal, or farm waste, biological materials along with beneficial microbes, most probably biofertilizers. This helps in releasing nutrients to the crop and increases production. So that's it for today, guys. Thank you for watching till the end. Please like and subscribe on the YouTube and also subscribe to my channel if you haven't. And don't forget to click on the notification bell icon to never miss an update from my end. Thank you.